Hi! Oh my gosh. Hi. 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 Thank you for redeeming first. Bang. Welcome in. How you doing? And hi LB, how you doing as well? And you're stuck doom scrolling for 2 hours? Oh my gosh. Was it entertaining though? And hi Meadow, welcome in. Welcome back. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you for throwing the cheese at me. Today, we're gonna try something a bit different. My dad got me a tablet, and I'm gonna try and play Osu on it. I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try it. We're gonna chill and practice. I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself, so we're just gonna like see how it goes. See how it goes. Yeah. That is the plan. Bow. It's kind of many motion means the constant sound replays of you. You know what? It's whatever works, you know? You need to get those views up. I wish I could get my views up. I suck. I'm like too stinky. Okay, I want to start off with doing easy. That's like really easy because I know I'm gonna really struggle with this, so I need like the mental stability. And I think the best thing to do, oh my gosh, stop. The best thing to do is start with the tutorial. The Osu tutorial that I haven't played before, apparently. Which is strange, but apparently I haven't, so we're gonna play it. And this is 1 star. Let's see if I can pass. Okay.
Hello and welcome to Osu.
Oh my gosh, okay, where's the mouse? Ah! Where's the mouse? Ah! Okay, wait, how do I do this? Oh my gosh, okay, I need to find out where I am. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, how do I use this thing? Like here? Okay.
Hello and welcome to OS. Let's learn how to play. So, OS is a game about circles. When the approach circle touches the edge of the inner circle, that's your cue to click it.
Whoa.
You can earn more score by accurately syncing your clicks to the music.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Give these circles a try.
Do. Do.
Sliders build on circle mechanics. Click on the start position just like a circle, then keep holding the mouse button as you follow this ball at a predetermined speed along the track. If a slider then has a reverse arrow, you'll need to follow the ball backwards too. So try some of these yourself. The spinner is the simplest object type. Just hold your mouse button and spin your cursor around the center of the
Okay,
screen
I'm
as
scared.
fast as you
I should be
can.
able to do this better now. Spins.
And that covers the basics of OS gameplay. To see if you've really got the hang of this, try playing the song to its end and pay attention to your accuracy. If you see anything below 300 here, that means you're clicking beats too early or too late. Also, you can click with the X and Z keys on your keyboard. Good luck and have fun playing OS.
Oh, actually, that would have been helpful like years ago. It was like the first time I ever played Osu, I would click the mouse buttons. Oh no! I'm so shaky. Okay, I need to move my mouse up and then put my arm a bit closer. I just don't know where to place myself. That's been 19%. No. No. Okay, this is gonna be kind of embarrassing. I don't want to like do something too tricky, but I'm like, I don't know. Let's take it slow. Let's take it slow and see how we go. Okay, I have to get used to using the tablet thing. Did it for you. Okay. No. Oh my gosh. Okay, okay. A win is a win. A win is a win. I mean, I think I got 100. Ah! No! 4 PP! 4 PP. Ding dong, da 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 da. Do 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 do. Okay, maybe I go. Let's try 1.5. I'll do short songs because I can't be bothered. Da, 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 da. Okay, maybe that's better. Ah! Oh no! No! Hello, 47 bits! Blitz, Bits! I can't actually see your name. Blitz! How you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. Happy Saturday. How's your Saturday been? Cheesinator. Yeah, we are. We are Cheesinators. We are cheesy. And we are awesome. But I hope you're... yeah, I hope you've had a good week. You said bits again. Yeah, this is my streamer. Yeah, I can't see. I can't see. Forgive me. Like, okay. So basically, the color of your name on the OBS chat is like it blends together, and it makes it difficult for me to see your name properly. Like, I'm literally guessing out the outlines. Like the B, I can see the B, but the lips part, it just blends into one. But I hope you're okay. Hello, how you doing today? I'm doing good, thank you, Ataclan. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. I'm trying out tablet today, but I keep getting hundreds. I'm not that accurate, and I'm playing 1 stars. So this isn't looking too good. I'm scared, to be honest. Even blended nicely. If I don't move, I become invisible. Exactly. I'm getting close. I'm getting close to what? Having £1 million. Getting close. 100, yeah. Oh, yeah, I get you. Well, close, but not close enough, you know. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, but like, it's kind of, I haven't really like practiced the tablet, to be honest. So like the thing is, my hand is rubbing on the tablet, and it's like making my because my hand's a bit sweaty. It's like sticking to it, so I'm like, oh no, this is a new problem that I never considered before. So I've got my, at least I'm wearing long sleeves today, so I've kind of put them over my hands, so it's like more slidey. I just never considered that before. Oh my gosh, but also like, I don't know, my fingers feel weird. But I just think I'm just not used to it very well. Oh my gosh, this is really a pain in the butt. Competitive Brawl Stars taught me that once. Brawl Stars? Is that the animal game? Maybe. Moisturize beforehand. Oh wait, really? Wait, is that what they do? I could actually, but then the pen would be slippy. Oh no! Okay, I think spinning is a lot easier now, though. Game made from the same people who made Clash of... Really? I know Clash of Clans. No way. No way. I mean, I've never had my hands moisturized while playing Clash of Clans, though. I mean, not like that I think about it, but like... Actually, I've uninstalled Clash of Clans now. I ran out of space on my phone, so I had to go, unfortunately. It was a sad day. I'll be wearing more shit. It's just house getting sticky. Ew, gross. Ew, that sounds weird. Aww. Lovely, lovely. That'll be very specific and a weird problem to have. Yeah. Yeah. I'm... Let's just say that. Okay. Okay, would it be crazy if I just jumped to 2 stars? I might do that. I might just jump to 2 stars, because maybe... What's... No, I'm already failing! Ah! It's stressing me out! I was intolerant lactose. I also tolerate lactose. Crazy. You jumped to 4 stars. I would die! I would die! I can barely do 4 stars as it is. Also, thank you for the follow, Stitchrim. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. But okay. I think it's because I'm confused. I'm confusing my brain. Like my right side and my left side are not communicating with each other. Up until I can't pass. You did okay. Wow. 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 Great job, thank you. I will take that. I need compliments. I don't need negativity in my life.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me, and then just hurt me, till I can get my satisfaction. Satisfaction.
satisfaction.
Push me, and then just hurt me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me, and then just hurt me, till I can get my satisfaction. 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 Push me, and then just hurt me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Ah, yeah, yeah. I never played this game, so okay, no worries. Fair enough, fair enough. About to join the Silent Luck ISO so EP. Okay, go sleep. Go sleep. I appreciate you for popping by, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, night. Well, probably night if you're tired. But I hope you have a good night and have a good sleep. Dream about lots of cheers and all the good things in the world. Wrong emote. I can't actually see what that is, but... Oh. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying. A good day! Got 7 PP! Woo! Wow. Everyone, the crowd goes wild. The crowd is me. I am the crowd. You left the mouse gag. No, I'll still play mouse. I'm just trying to practice on tablet because my dad did get it for me. He spent money on it, and I have to. Oh, hi Crow! Yeah, you guys have the same color, so I couldn't tell. Hi Crow, how you doing? It's good to see you. What true about you manifest you in my dreams? Okay, thank you. Sleep well, sleep well. Hi Pilk, welcome in. How you doing? Pilk, both of you. How are you doing? I hope we're having a good day. You're good. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm trying to learn how to use a tablet, and it's scary. But the good thing about tablet is I can actually spin now, which I couldn't spin before. But it's going okay. It's going okay. I'm practicing on 2 stars right now. Well, I've just, started, so not very long. A win is a win, so true. A win is a win, and I want to take every win. Wait. Pilk, you play on mouse, don't you? I'm pretty sure you play mouse. Yeah, but you're so good playing low. Like, I need to get good. I want to be good. Teach me your skills, please. I will donate you 50p. That's all I can offer. No, you're good. You're good. Oh, wait. Okay, you're actually good. Like, what the heck? Oh my gosh. Like, I'm Going for all like levels of stress. Okay, okay. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to do that. Ah, I don't know I don't know the pen buttons, so I'm like, wait, we're not even missing a specific fan. Wait, are we not? Oh no, I don't even know what's your Osu name? That was good. Thank you, Crow. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm sorry. Speed dial. Well, you're not mutuals with me. Wait, how long have you been playing for? "2019! My account's older than yours. Ha ha ha. Like a year? Whoa, a year? What the heck? A year and you're like that good? Oh my gosh. Oh no, I don't want to press that. I'm trying to look. Ah, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. I'm trying to... I'm just so lost. Like, that's so good. That's crazy quick. What the heck? I mean, to be fair, I have only started standard like January, but still, I'm not very good. Oh, thank you for the follow, gamer. Zora, welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. And thank you for the hydrate and the posture check. I appreciate it. You're farming. Oh, okay. Fair enough. You know, playing how you want to play, that's all that matters, you know? I got Monster. It's pretty good, Pretty good. Oh my gosh, where is it? Okay. Would it be crazy to jump to a 2.5? Oh, I don't know if I could do a long map though right now. Because my hand gets really sticky on the tablet. First world problems. Okay. I want to play a song. Your Pepsi Max thing. Unfortunately, I don't like Pepsi Max. I'm sorry, but I'll stick to my Monster. Actually, do you know the sweets called Squashies? There's a Coke and cherry flavor. It's actually quite nice, and I don't like Coke. Oh, there's these sweets. Like, wait. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. Ah! Why is OBS like that? Wait, let me have a foot. Squashies, Coke, and cherry. Not cheese! Oh my gosh, I wrote cheese! It's a new flavor, actually. And it's quite nice, and I don't like Coke. Oh, thank you for the follow, Josh Homo. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Where is it? Squashies. Why is it going like that? Huh? What is that? Why is it that size? What? Why is that size? Okay. Whatever. That's future me to worry about. You don't like cherry? That's just rude. Okay, bye. Good luck, thanks. See you later. Hi, Sunback. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I am. Thank you. I hope you're having a wonderful day too. I had a miss. I had a miss. I had a miss. But that was actually quite good. That was like a lot of fun, you know? Even though I had a miss, I actually enjoyed it. But yeah, I've actually had a really nice day today. I've been, honestly, I had a lie-in because the past week I've been up really, really early, like every single day. So I actually had a nice lie-in today. It was so good. And then I've just been working on like Unity stuff all day. And I've been messing around with hair physics, which has been really, really fun. And like frustrating, but it's been good. It's been a good one. I'd say quite productive, to be fair. Okay. Whoa. Never changing. Oh, it's never changed. I don't think I got any misses. Yeah, I got like little hundreds, but I actually didn't get any misses. That was like kind of hard. start struggling on mid 2.5 star, mid 2 stars. Yeah, that's the one. But I want to keep going. Title screen. 2.7. Hi, Mr. Detective. Welcome in. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, my dad got me a tablet. Isn't that so kind of him? Because I would never buy myself a tablet, honestly. But he bought me one, which was really kind. Thank you, Father, if you're listening. Ugh. Oh no, that wasn't that best. But I got some PP out of that, so that's not too bad. Did you find a decent area yet? Like on the tablet? Well, I honestly, this is like my first time actually playing Osu properly, but I'm currently using like the top left area. Mostly, but yeah. But it's kind of like, I'm trying to figure it out. I got a snotty nose as well, so I do apologize. I am full of snot, to be honest. Wait, do you play on tablet as well? If so, how long have you been playing for? Oh, okay. I feel like I'm getting to my limit, but I want to still keep like persevering onwards. Oh, I can't stand that song. I actually might delete it because it annoys me so much. I love that song. When I do play standards on the tablet though, it not in a while. Ah, I see. Yeah. Here. Do you just prefer to play it on tablet, or do you not really mind? I'm still debating what I prefer. I mean, to be fair, I've only been playing for like 40 minutes, so it's a bit early days. With mouse it sometimes goes up against the keyboard and then I can't move any further and I get annoyed. Oh no, I get you. I actually get you. Not with the keyboard, but for me, when I played on my mouse pad, it would hit the bottom of my mouse pad and it would be really annoying because I wouldn't be able to move properly, so I actually understand that. Hello, nice to song. It's been a while since I played Osu. I've been struggling hard when I tried to play it. Honestly, I understand. I understand. Because I struggle too. But that's okay. You know, we can struggle together. And that's the beauty of it. To at least test sensitivity too. Yeah, I think for me, I just don't understand it. I'm just like, I just want to play what I feel comfortable with, like, you know, like, in regards to, like, the mouse. Like, you know, like, okay, I'm holding my mouse right now, but, like, this is, like, a nice speed for me, and I wouldn't like to change it. I don't know if I can do that on the tablet. I don't know. I haven't actually paid attention. By area, like dimensions of what millimeters use? I don't know. I can't tell you because I don't know. Oh my gosh! Elite Beat Agents! I have that game! Oh my gosh, that game is cool, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a throwback. You must be like... No way. That is... I didn't know anybody else knew that game. Wait, no way. It was inspired by Elite Beat Agents. No, it was actually. I just thought nobody knew what that game was. Because I used to talk about it like back in the olden days with my friends, and like they never heard of it before. But like, that's insane. My mind is blown. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, it makes sense. Oh my gosh. Like, my brother used to play Elite Beat Agents loads on the DS. Oh, I wonder if he would like Osu. That's so cute. Oh, that's like such a throwback. Never anyone else who knew what the heck I was talking about before. Same. And now, like, now I heard of that. Now I'm like, maybe more people have heard of it than I thought. Oh, I passed. Just shaking. Wow! I'm passing. This is crazy. My gosh, can I pass the freestar? If I can pass the freestar, I will dance. For real. Okay. Call Green Eyes is free. I have that song, but I meant like a low, a low freestar, like a bang on freestar, because I don't want to jump too high, otherwise I am going to like explode. Also, hi, Funny, welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Oh my gosh, where's the thingy? Itadakimasu! What? Whoa, I got that! I got 27 PP for that. What the heck? That's a lot of PP. for what that was. That's crazy. Being hard to go to like freestyle now. Well, we'll see. I remember being this map. I can remember same. For me for Taiko, I think it was one of my like first Taiko maps I played as well, which is crazy when I think about back in the days. But yeah, I don't care. I don't care about my ranks. Ranks aren't real. Ranks aren't real. They can't hurt you. How did you lose ranks from FC? I don't know. Well, maybe because I don't know. Sometimes it's like that. I don't. You know, when in doubt, pretend it's not real. What do I want to play? Oh, okay. I might try a longer song. I haven't tried a longer song yet because I'm scared of. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, this is gonna be our first longer song. Long last song I created tonight. Same. But I'm like, you know, let's try. I'll either pass or I won't. Yeah, fucking out. You know, just let's try. Oh my gosh, I got snotty nose. TMI. Ah! Oh my gosh. It's so hard because I'm trying to think of my left hand and then I'm trying to think of my right hand and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was dying. Oh my gosh. I was like, when is that gonna end? Oh. I don't know, like halfway through that song, I got really like hypersensitive of like the feel of like the tablet on the of the pen, and I was like, oh my gosh, why is that kind of annoying? There's a 6-minute main map could end, which is like legit cannot pass. Either the two difficulties because it feels like 10 minutes and real death. Oh yeah, that would be horrible. I would not be able to do that. Like, I would be struggling. I'll be dead on the floor. I'll be crying, sobbing, crying, dead. Mini chat, what's mini chat? Oh my gosh, okay. Wait, I might need to get some tissue because I'm really snotty. And I feel like it's not going to be running down my face, but I'll be back in a second. Listen to this song. Oh my gosh, I love Sans. Oh my gosh, I'm so quick, you didn't even notice. I love that song. Wait, where's the go? Oh. Wait, what match is it? What song did I just do? I can't even remember. A 3.3! Let's do a 3.3. That's pretty good. Recently played. Wait, I've never. Oh my gosh, is that what it does? Does it actually show you what you recently plays? I'll try that in a second. No way. Last Thursday is better. I don't know that one. I don't know that one. But it sounds Rizzy. Hi Leon, welcome in. How are you doing? Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm dead. I'm so dead off. Hello, hello, Yama welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Oh my gosh, Tycho. I don't know if I want to search up on YouTube. I'm scared, to be honest. But I'm glad to hear you're fine. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm good. I just got a cold. My nose is so runny, and it's just like annoying me. How's the tablet leap going? I think it's going okay. It's just like, ah! Thank you for the 10 biddies, the Fallen King, I appreciate it. That scared me. Why was that so aggressively loud? I hope you're having a good day as well, I thank you. But yeah, it's okay. It's just like a new type of movement that I'm not used to. So it's like getting used to that pretty much. And it's a bit challenging, but like, you know, what isn't challenging when you're learning something new, right? Oh, do you guys play tablet as well? If so, how long have you been playing for on the tablet? Or is that something you've always done? You don't play standard. Oh wait, you play Psycho, don't you? I love Psycho. I love Psycho. Psycho's so good. Psycho's so good. Like, I just love it so much. So good. You got a tablet last Christmas. No way. Did you play it loads? Oh, you haven't used it much. That's fair enough. I think my dad got this for me was it last week? Yeah, I think so. But the thing is, I've been working every day, so I actually haven't had chance to actually use it until today. Hi Chef, welcome in. It's good to see you. Happy Saturday. I just wasn't sleeping. It's good to see you. Hey, something back. Wow, savage. I do love Tycho. I do agree. Tycho's like the most fun game mode. But medically, I shouldn't be playing Tycho. Okay. Let's go. Okay, let's find my pen again. Oh my gosh, this is so difficult. I think I would have struggled playing that on my mouse as well. That was really challenging. Oh my gosh, oops. I downloaded a load of Freestar Sunday maps and I just sent them all me. Mia. No, before I was the opposite. I had all Tycho maps, but now they're like I have more standard maps than Tycho. But to be fair, like I did like delete all of my maps to start again. Honestly, sometimes you just have to like download a bulk load and then just to steal. Oh, thank you for redeeming us to Mutual. Ow, my eyes. Belgium! There we go, 1 minute truce. Whoa! Is that Tycho? Number 3 in the ranking for country. That's so good. Whoa! That's crazy. Do you play standard at all? I do play a bit of standard. Nice. Hey Cheddar. Hi Carl. Welcome in. How you doing? Oh, and Catch and Mania. Oh, nice. You dabble in all of them. That's cool. That's cool. What's your highest? 241. Is that a Tycho? Oh no, best performance. Whoa, nearly 600. Oh, I know that song. I know that song. I played that song on a 4-star Tycho map. The 10 Things I Hate About You. I actually quite liked it for an Oni. For an Oni, I didn't mind it. Wait. Honestly, I wish I could play Mania, but I suck so much at Mania. It's so tricky for me. Doing good. How are you? Are you doing gooder? That's gooder. I'm doing gooder too. How's your Saturday been? 600 choke yesterday, but I had 340p, but I choke at the end. Oh no. It's always the way. It's always the way. But still, that's pretty good. Okay. You could tell when I started playing Osu on my mouse because like all the ones that like I have played. He was on a generational run like I should be. Wait, not anymore. Yeah, I know you don't play as much anymore, Crow. When did you last play? I used to play this all the time. Did you? Aww. Wait, did you play it? Did you play on tablet or mouse? Or was it standard or on different game mode? I did play yesterday, but not long. I mean, you know, sometimes it's like the short games that can be a lot. But honestly, when I try and play like after work, I just can't. I'm just so tired. I'm just like, you know, I can't do this. And I end up playing Affinity Nikki because I'm just so tired. I haven't played Affinity Nikki today. Oh no, I'm gonna miss my login. Oh, never mind. Mouse like 5 years ago, I believe. Oh, wow, that's a long time ago. That's a long time ago. Wow. Wow. I was not playing Osu 5 years ago. I mean, I think I had an account, but I never played it really. Good music, thank you. This is a cute song, to be honest. The funny thing is, I have the two times the map of 10 Things I Hate About You as my top 5 PP. Top 5 PP what? Like on like double time? If so, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, the fact that my accuracy was better, but my combo wasn't. Well, only by a little bit. But when did I play that? Okay, this is when I first started playing like standard properly. That's not too bad, I don't think. I don't think that's too bad. Oh, so one at double time and one over like a low difficulty hidden double time. Oh my gosh, that's tricky. That's tricky. Like, but you must like know that map like off by heart then. To be fair, I think Taiko is like the only game mode I could probably play hidden on a little bit. Like a low map I could probably play hidden, but I can't play hidden like at all. Really. I find it. Oh wait, this is the Green Eyes song. That was like unintentional, but you know. Wait, how long is it? Okay, that's not too bad. I didn't even think about it, it just happened. It just came to me in a dream. Da, 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 da. Whoa! Thank you for the follow! Acrimonite Ace? I'm sorry. But welcome in, hope you have a good day! Cheese, oh my gosh, yes, do you like cheese too? I love cheese. I'm a big cheese fan myself. Stream app, isn't it ever hard? I hit the double time as well. Hard about worthless. I see. No, I don't see. Did I hit the corner trigger alley? Probably. Oh my gosh, yes! Okay, thank you, LB. We oh no, I think how cheesy am I is a sub command and mod command. But if you do exclamation mark help, it will tell you what commands you can use. Like how cheesy am I? I'm 734. I'm not gonna risk it though. And then how cheesy red, and then it went all red and rumbled away. Oh, you got no cheese. That's sad. Cheese is yummy in poker. So true. I love it. But yeah, OB has made some new commands. He's worked really hard. So if you're a subscriber or anything, you can actually use the new commands, which is really cool. So if I did how cheesy, oh my gosh, how cheesy, wait, is it how cheesy black? And then I can, whoa, I won 1,468 cheese. I will get spicy. I haven't seen that yet. That's quite funny. Oh no, wait, I'm so cheesy. No way. Thanks, LB. That's a good one. Oh yeah, and also LB got some new jokes as well. What did the cheese say to motivate his friends? You can breathe whatever you want to breathe. That's so cute. I love that. Preston B. Oh my gosh, yeah. He's the president of the Sunbacker channel. Sunbacker's gaming skills are like the internet connection. Constantly lagging. Wait, I need that in my life. That's so true. Wait, how do I pin? Pepper jack cheese. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna roast you back, Olby. You wanna get roasted? You wanna get roasted? This is what you get. Olby dies to the first enemy in every game. Sunbacker's logic has more errors than a first-year programmer student. What? Leon is their own worst OT and a best friend and only friend. Why is this so savage? It's so funny. Oh, I didn't do too bad then, to be honest. The best question asked when joining a Discord server is, do you like cheese? Yes, that's the only question that matters, right? Do you like cheese? That is the question. And if you don't, then I don't know what to say. You're locked out. You're not allowed to gamble. No more gambling for you. Meh. I mean, technically, because you are you can give yourself less time out. You can hack the system. No way! Why am I doing well? No way. I felt like I was powerful then. Do. No, I like it this way. Okay, fair enough. You look like cheese. Thank you. So do you. Looks is all out that way. That's true. I should be going soon. Have a good one and many and May will happen bless you. Thank you. Take care. I appreciate the luck. Hopefully you have a great day and sending you lots of cheese in. Yeah, but yeah, equality. This will be the equality section. We love equality. Equality Act 2010 is the best act. Oh my gosh, my accuracy was better. What the heck? No way. Okay, if by the end of the stream I can pass a 4-star map, I will actually be so surprised. But I don't. Okay, that's a bit too hopeful. I'll be very surprised. Oh, I love that song. I love that song. Okay, I think this one was quite difficult when I last tried it. It was the Because, yeah, I tried this on standard. Well, this is standard, no way. I tried this on mouse at the start of this month. I wonder if I can do better on tablet. I'm failing a 116 map. What is the Oh! 116 map that doesn't even have that big jumps. I don't know. I don't think I know what that is. I'm trying to use my brain. No, I don't know. It's I don't know. I don't think I do. I could try and guess, but I don't want to.
3, 2, 1, start.
No way! Oh my gosh. I felt like I was a lot more powerful then. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't, but maybe I felt powerful. I don't. I feel like I'm doing well. It's called Samurai Spirits Remix. Move to Katawale Doki for now. Whatever that is. I don't know what that is either, so I can't tell you. Is it? Wait, is that a song name or like something? Okay, let's try a 3.9. Oh, let's be crazy. Rock into the beat. Okay, I played the song loads, so I'm like hopeful I can do something. Rock into the beat. Okay. Woo! Rock into the beat. Together. Oh wait, I don't think I can do that. What? I haven't gone on this map before. What the heck? What? What? Hey, also, hi, Darren. How you doing? First, actually, standard god mode is not even a pass. No, you got this. You got this. Oh my gosh, what the heck is? I'm scared. I'm scared. Wow, Mouse is holding you back some. I don't. I don't. Wait. We didn't. Let's not say that. Let's not say that yet. Well, that's kind of crazy, though. That's kind of crazy. Okay, let's wait. Let's try full star. Should we do it? Should we try full star? That's kind of crazy. Yeah, we could. Let's try this map because I always got bad accuracy on this map. Yeah, I'm having a party right now. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day. If I can do decent on this, or if I can pass this, I will be like, what the heck? I will explode. Okay. Because as you can see, I played this map a lot. All quite similar accuracy. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Back. I was kind of scared because I kind of think, yeah, I think I'm gonna fail. I'm scared. Ah, no! No, I'm sweating! Ew, the tablet's wet! Ew, that's so gross. That's from my sweat. Okay. I was actually kind of close. Okay, let's try again. Back, that's love in the battle black. Someone new. Oh, okay, I passed. Oh my gosh, I'm sweaty though. I'm sweaty. To be fair, that wasn't too bad. I passed a 4-star on a tablet, and I didn't think I was gonna do that today, to be honest, but I did. So I'm pretty like hyped. Copium, literally, but I'm so sweaty. My hands are like gross. It's like when I used to play Taiko, I was just all sweaty in the hands. Getting this far on day one is insane. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, I wasn't expecting that. Like, that's kind of crazy. And we're only an hour and a half in? Wait, is that right? Yeah, we're only an hour and a half in on the stream. Which, when you think about it, that's pretty impressive. Well done, me. I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back. Like, I promise I haven't been practicing at all. Like, I haven't. You can even ask my dad. I haven't even been playing any games this week. What tablet are you using? I am using hang on. Gaomon? The Gaomon. Gaomon. Wait, let me type it. Gaomon. That's the name of it. I hope that will help. That's the name of the brand. I don't know what type specifically it is. They are pricey. Oh, they actually. I didn't buy it. My dad actually bought it for me, so I don't know how much it is. Oh my gosh. Oh no! Now I feel bad. I feel bad for my dad. Thank you, Father. Why are you playing? Oh my gosh! I passed. I don't know how well. Oh, 80%. Not gonna lie, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm gaming. Okay. Oh, I can't even pass that map. I'm probably not gonna miss that. Oh, do I dare to play a longer map? Oh, okay. This could be a bit tricky, but I've been playing a lot of 1 minute maps, so 3 minute might be a bit tricky, but we're gonna try it. Ugh. Okay. Ugh. Oh my gosh, let's go! Since I'm coming home, first we start off, congratulations! Oh my gosh, it's like we're all winning today. There's something good in the Osu air. What is in the Osu air today? Because I think it's full of positivity and good luck. Oh my goodness, I love this for us. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. I got a B as well. Oh my gosh, my accuracy is doing so much better. I don't know what's going on. I mean, combo not, but I think that's like due to practice, though. But that's kind of crazy. Wow. Why is that 16 seconds? Is it because 2x underscore? 2x underscore? Is it for you? No way. That's crazy. In the UK, well, actually in England, schools finish in July. I know because I work in a school. I know Scotland's earlier. I don't know about Wales. But yeah, I have work. I have work. Unfortunately. But actually, I still work during the holidays as well because it's open all year. That was so short. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I've also played this one a lot on mouse. So that's gonna be I'm trying to give myself like maps that I've played like a lot on mouse, seeing if I can like, you know, do better or not, which is totally fine. Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the hydrate. The game of Zora, welcome in. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Okay, not gonna lie, that wasn't too bad. Okay, I'm drinking my Monster. Monster, original Monster. Make sure you grab yourself a drink as well, whatever your drink of choice is. Or maybe some water if you're feeling healthy. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised. I'm just surprised. Well, Victoria Royale. Yeah, Fortnite, I'm about to go down. Okay, can I pass this now? Yeah, Choco Cookie. I love this song. It's so funny. Shakimash. Do. I have a pen. I have an apple. Ah! Apple pen. Never give you up. Okay. Shit. Oh, okay. I'm debating which one I want to do. I might do this one because I've never been able to pass this map without no fail on. This is like one of my most played maps that I could just never pass. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it out. Pardon me. Oh, maybe not. Wait. Okay, I'll try one more time. Ah, no! Okay, maybe not. Okay, I'll try it with no fail on. That's the biggest telltale. Oh. Do. I got a B though. I've never had a B on this map though. What? My accuracy is so much better. What is this sorcery? What? This is I'm kinda scared. Not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not gonna complain, but I'm scared that this is like a strange buff going on. Because this is not usual. This is not usual in the sum department. Well, what? What? I passed! What the heck? I don't know what's going on. This is so funny. This is so funny. That's... What? What? Why is Osu kind of fun? What the heck? Oh my gosh. Okay, serious. I also haven't passed this map before. Wait, I don't have mods on. Okay, let's try. Okay. Woo. Okay, let's try this. I'm scared. Try not to choke. Second freestyle pass with Samurai. Nice, congrats. Oh my gosh, you're doing so well as well. Oh my gosh, it's like we're radiating, like, you know, passing energy today. It's kind of crazy. This is kind of crazy for us. Congratulations. Oh wait. Ah, okay. Oh, okay. Maybe not. Okay, maybe not. Next week, share items from Pokemon in real life. Oh my gosh, yeah. Isn't that crazy? It's sweet though. Oh. Whoa. Do 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 do. Oh my gosh. Definitely getting the accuracy up though. That's like a win. I kind of love this. Kind of loving this. But I don't know. I don't know. Okay, wait. Okay, I'm gonna try and play maps I have played. So I want to play along with the song though. I love that song so much. But I feel like I always play this song. And it's so good! I love this song too. Okay, which one do I want to play? Oh, poo. Oh no, I didn't mean to press that. Ah. Okay, wait. I don't think I'm feeling that confident yet. Well, where was I? Maybe so. I think it was around here, I think. Okay. This is a good hypey song. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Ah! Oh, hi! Welcome in. How you doing? It's good to see you. How's the tablet grind? It's actually really good. It's really good. It's actually kind of scary. It's been like a jump scare because I'm actually like my accuracy seems better, but I don't know if that's because I'm like, you know, telling myself I'm going crazy. So how playing on tablet's kind of fun, honestly, right? Like I didn't think it would be that fun, but it's like kind of fun, right? How's your Osu gaming going? How's your mousing around? Mousing around. Look at that! Whoa! Look at that accuracy, 88. That's better than my other ones I've done. Oh my gosh, I'm gaming so hard. This is crazy. I'm gonna cry. I'm just like really hyped because I'm like this is kind of wild. Still going swell. That's well. So to hear, and I hope you're having a good week as well. Okay. I'm debating. Should I try? Oh, I'm crying. I'm so emotional. Maybe I've got personal best as well. What the heck? What the heck? 55 PP! Oh my goodness! I'm crying. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm dead. Okay. I'm debating. I love this song. Okay. Oh, what do I have? My heart is beating! Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, is this how it feels to play a game? But oh. Oh, I was so close to 90% accuracy, but I just can't spin. But to be fair, I wouldn't have been able to do it on mouse because I stuck not the 50 spinner, right? Right? The spinner was like, nah, not for you. Literally got rejected. But to be fair, like getting a B is like kind of crazy for me. Like, I'm really scared. I love the song. Oh yeah. What's your fastest spin? I don't know. I'm not very good at spinning, not gonna lie. You should go to pass a 5-star. I mean, I can't even pass a 5-star on a mouse. But I'm just gonna see how far I could go. Yeah. But if I do end up ever doing a 5-star, like even like today or like another day playing tablet, I think that would be kind of crazy. You know, even from a, I don't, how does somebody know how spinny they are? Is that a feature that you can find out? Cause I've never looked at it before. Okay, out of control. Okay. Oh no! Oh my gosh, my wrist is hurt so much. Fast as I saw myself go 300 spins per minute or something earlier today. Wait, how would you find that out? Is there a way I can find that out? Oh my gosh, okay, I need to do a shorter map. Yeah, I suck at longer maps so much. Oh, wait, the Switch 2 comes out soon. Oh my gosh, I think I might be working on that day though. Wait, is it a Monday? Come out on a Monday? Oh, so close though. I'm so excited. Okay. There's a spin per minute thing at the bottom of the screen during the spinner. Like, wait, this part? Wait, I can't see the numbers properly. I think it's 200? Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, I won't see it now. You're still 307. Well, you've got better eyesight than me. Is that true? Fail, thanks. Well, let's try to be a love heart, love heart, love heart, love heart, love heart. Oh my gosh. And I passed up my fail too. Yeah. Do. I'm gaming. Gaming so hard. Do. Oh. I love this song. I might try it. Oh, I have to give my hands a rest though. Okay. Literally 2 hours of like constantly playing has got into my wrists. Literally. Okay. Whoa! I'm has what? 90% accuracy? And a B? What? What the heck? What the heck? What? 30, was that 37 pp? Wait. 37 pp! What? Wait, what's my highest pp actually? Oh wait, no, that's what. What the heck? My highest is 69. But still. That's pretty good. But like, you know, first time. That's a what? What? I'm so hyped. Da, 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 da. Try Undertale. My wrist is like. Oh, my wrist. Oh.
Every so often.
Yeah. Put it
You're not
down.
doing 20-minute laps or anything.
No,
like that,
if
are
I
you? So
did, I
you're
think I would cry a million years. A million years.
Is that a goodbye then?
Yeah, thank you. Love you.
You're welcome. Better than your mouse.
Sorry, Mouser.
I didn't like that mouse.
Go swap
What for?
your mouse.
No, I like my mouse as well.
Two mice.
Do you want to go back to your old one, dear?
Even though it's like old, I like it. It's too bright as well.
Plug it. You can change the lights, can't you?
Yeah. What?
They're an off one.
No, pink.
No, you're pink.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, purple then.
that one.
Purple is, yeah. Thanks.
Oh, it's changed again.
Oh. Well, you can just do.
Are you weirdo? What's the point of having a button to change it?
It's like, nah, I don't want to. Do you know what it says?
You are annoying,
Ah, my apples don't look directly.
man.
It is! Oh my gosh. It's like you could literally blind someone.
I'm glad you like it, though.
Are you?
Yeah.
Like,
So smooth.
there's my butthole.
No.
Wow.
Wrinkly and old.
Thanks. Oh, love you. I'm
I'm.
cheesy.
I know. I gamble. I might try.
Oh yeah, you can try again. I think it's been an hour, hasn't
Yeah,
it?
it shouldn't be.
I'll do mine as well. Wait,
It's a while, so.
I wonder why. How cheesy am I? 734. How cheesy. Red. Was a bus. An oily cheese crumbled away and locked out for an hour. Ugh. What? I lost all my cheese. I lost all my cheese. Which one do I want to play? 571. Are you gonna try and get higher? What do I want to play? I don't know. I'm gonna try this one. Ha! We both lost both of ours. We're both losers today. We are the loser cheese. We are loser cheese. Should never gamble. Exactly. That's why gambling is bad.
ロックな君とはお別れだっただから僕に目もくれないで先ばかり言って君のその才能に僕は嫉妬してバカにすんなよ肌目ばっかあの服な君とはお別れだずっと僕は君にとらわれたままいつかあそこに憧れてでも死んだ俺でいたから全部中途半端なってあの服な君とはお別れだずっと僕は若い者と笑っていつまでもその姿さらしてロックしないねロックに行きたいねそうだからお別れだじゃね才能豊かに生きてきたつもりだった優等生ぶっていたボールから手にネット済んだ直感だけどなんとかなる気がしていたまっとうなんかじゃないけど特別になりたかった走ってるよ走ってるよ磨いてるよ磨いてるよ光ってないね言葉じゃ何とでも言えるからさあの服な君とはお別れだずっと僕は
Ah, poo. Poo on the loo. Oh, it's a 3-minute song, not gonna lie. Oh, okay. Okay, that's a quite long song. I'm gonna try again though.
ロックな君とはお別れだっただから僕に目もくれないで先ばかり言って君のその才能に僕は嫉妬してバカにすんなよ肌目ばっかあの服な君とはお別れだずっと僕は君にとらわれたままいつかそこに憧れてでも死んだ俺でいたから全部中途半端なってあの服な君とはお別れだずっと僕は若い者と笑っていつまでもその姿さらしてロックしないねロックに行きたいねそうだからお別れだじゃね才能豊かに生きてきたつもりだった優等生ぶっていたボールから手のネット済んだ直感だけどなんとかなる気がしていたまっとうなんかじゃないけど特別になりたかった走ってるよ走ってるよ磨いてるよ磨いてるよ光ってないね言葉じゃ何とでも言えるからさあの服な君とはお別れだずっと僕は君に離されたままいつの日かそこに追いつきたいでも角がかけていたから全部中途半端なってあの服な君とはお別れだずっと僕は卑怯者と笑ってからか全て見えなくなってロックじゃないねロックに行きたいねそうだからお別れだじゃね変わったから変わったから悟ったから悟ったから分かってないね言葉じゃ何とでも言えるからさ僕なんてたかが知れた程度に割って君の足元にすがる程度に割って泣いたって君は絶対振り向かないよな全部わかってるよあの服な君とはお別れだずっと僕は君にとらわれていたいつかそこに憧れてでも死んだ俺でいたから全部中途半端なってあの服な君とはお別れだきっと僕は花にはなれないけどその
Oh my gosh, I'm dying. My hand is like absolutely killing me now. I might do some easier maps because my wrist is like dying, and but just it's okay to take a break. It's okay to take a break. Like, have a break, have a Kit Kat. Oops. Ooh, I just took a screenshot. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Whipper Hardstyle. That's an interesting name. You look like a whipper. That sounds like an insult. Oh my gosh. Sorry. What you do? What you do? Oh.
Look at what you've done. Stand still, falling away from me. When it takes so long, fire's out. What do you want to be? Now I'm holding on. All you said was never enough for me. How to be so strong. There's a power in what you do. Now every other day I'm watching you. Show you what it feels like now on the outside. We did everything right now on the outside. Show you what it feels like now on the outside. We did everything well on the outside. Show you what it feels like now on the outside. We did everything right now on the outside. Show you what it feels like now on the outside. We did everything right now on the outside.
Oh, hello, Yoshi. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Whoa, what the heck? 39 PP. Whale, wow. It's a tower of cheese. Okay, I'd say I'm getting quite comfortable at like lower 4 stars on the tablets. Well, I would like to say so. But like, oh, it gets really hard really quickly. It's what to do. I might just randomize it, honestly. Obviously, not something too ridiculous. Strawberry Rush. Oh, that might be a bit tricky. But yeah, I hope everybody's having a good Saturday. I know I am. We're just chilling, having a good time, and learning about tablets and stuff. Is it tricky? Yeah, but you know, when in doubt, suffer. I don't know. Okay. gosh, okay, where is it? Ah! Oh my gosh, I'm... My hands! They're burning! They're burning so much! Your first Mania rank increase in battle almost wait. That's really good. Wow. Oh my gosh. I don't think I get many increased ranks like in a week period. I'm just happy to be here. Oh my gosh. That was like death. Whew! Have to breathe. Oh. Okay, that wasn't as bad as the other one. Got 80%. Do my hands hurt? Yeah, they do, but still. Wait, I literally did that one a couple minutes ago. Wish I had a rank increase. Same. Thing is, I rarely have like a rank increase personally. It's really difficult for me to rank up. Oh, sorry, got sniffy nose. I mean, I think it's because I don't really play often, so I often rank down. I just need to. I know I need to play more, but I can't be bothered all the time. The graph went up and then it's just in the middle. No, I get that. No, that happens as well, especially when. Oh my gosh, my Tycho rank! I just looked at my Tycho rank and it's going down. It's because I don't play anymore. Yeah, my standard rank is pretty like middle as well. Whoa, 666! Oh my gosh, that's scary. And my catch is down, so is my mania. Pretty much everything is down. That's kind of depressing. Oh. Well, you made rank go down over 100 past now, so we catch me rank. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Like these things decrease over time. You know, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. As long as you feel like you are good within yourself. That's what matters, is what you feel. Oh, you're washed. Yeah, it's okay though. It's okay. At least we're clean. We're clean. Which is like kind of crazy. I play tablet once and it's like, yeah, it's fine. And I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, Dreamcatcher. Too old for games these days? No, no one's too old for games. My dad is a literal father and he plays games, so you tell that to him. He will disagree. My dad is a literal father. Yes, that is a term.
불쌍한 표정 따위 no 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 너를 위해 만든 시간 속인 걸 더 이상 떠나갈 생각은 하지마 Oh baby welcome to my dream world Come 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 in 나만 바라보게 벗어날 수 없어 넌내 손 안에 있어 없이 반복되는 악몽 속에서 이대로 갇혀 있어줘 영원히 나만을 위한 인형처럼 Baby good night Baby good night
Whoa! Oh my gosh, ah! Oh my gosh, I was out of breath playing that one. Oh. Wait, Techno Dad Challenge Dream. What does that mean? 1v1 in Minecraft. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know Minecraft terminology. Is that a challenge in Minecraft? About fathers? I don't know. Just because I watched a Minecraft movie doesn't know I know Minecraft. I'm sorry, I'm a fake fan. What? Ah! What? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Ah! That's the best! No way! People who play these types of games impress me because I turn around and same as a clown. But you're amazing too. Also, hi! Luna! Thank you for the raid! Welcome in! How are you doing? How was your stream? It's good to see you. Hi. Everyone say hi to Luna. She's also a cheeser. She's a Luna Moon cheeser. Sometimes you can impress yourself here. Wow. savage. I always impress myself. I'm so funny. Thank you for the follow. I'm not committing tax fraud. That's good to know. But I hope you're having a good day. But yeah, welcome in, Raiders. I'm Sam. I have a cold, so if you don't like the sound of me sniffling my nose every so often, run away. But I'm. Oh, the words. Okay, it's nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, words. Okay, that made sense. That made sense. Hi, Ruben. Welcome. It's time for the cheese. Oh my gosh, yes. Get that cheese. Get that cheese. Cheese is so good. Mario. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. I love Marioing. Mario Kart is... Oh, I'm so excited for the new Mario Kart world. I'm so excited. I'm so hyped. We got a raid in Dash. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, see you later, Luna. Take care. Send you lots of cheesy love your way. Bye-bye. Speaking gibberish of this one. Yeah, it's fine. I'm tired, to be honest. I need to step my monster. Oh, sending you all the cheesy love. Oh, you're locked out until... Wait. When am I locked out till? Wait. I'm locked out until 11:24. It's 11:56. Oh wait, is that an hour? Is it? Wait, huh? I don't know. Oh, it's in GMT, so at 12:24. Okay. Okay, I was confused. I need some cheese with my spaghetti. Oh my gosh, get it. Get some cheese with your spaghetti. Do it. Do it. Also, if you do exclamation mark help, it will tell you what commands you can use. Also, oh yeah, it's my first day using using the tablet. And it's going really well, I think. Kind of crazy. Thank you for the cheese. How's the cheese and queen been doing lately? I've been okay. It's been a bit busy for me. I'm doing more hours at work, which can make me a bit tired, to be honest. But just think of the money. But I've been okay. Thank you, Clown. How are you? Alex! Hi, Alex. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Also, there's new commands, Alex. If you do... Wait. If you do exclamation mark how cheesy, either red or black, you can, like, potentially lose your cheese. But it's good to see you. You feel that? No, literally, it's been a bit crazy. But, it could be worse. Oh no, you lost all your cheese. You can now gamble your cheese. Oh no. Oh, straight away as well. That's not a good sign. Let's go gambling. Oh no. Ah, poo. Oh yeah, we have exclamation mark roast now, so you can roast me if you really wanted to. Alex is so cheesy, even the cheese is embarrassed. Wow. Oh. No, you're also doing good. You're just a little sleepy since I woke up. Oh yeah, it's the morning for you. How's your morning? Did you have good sleep? So what's the status on the master plan to get the cheese to be the world's only currency? Well, if I just keep integrating my Twitch chat full of cheese, then my chat could spread word of cheese and then spread the word of cheese to more people, and then it's like an epidemic. We're gonna call it an epidemic, essentially. But with cheese. Sleep was okay. I fell asleep a little bit late, so I think I my usual length of sleep. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully you can sleep better tonight. Wait, okay, I'm gonna roast. Who should I roast? I'm gonna roast myself. Can I roast myself? Thumbaka roasting themselves is the most self-aware thing they've done all year. That's so funny. I love that. That needs to be my life. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's so true. Okay, let's do this. Otherwise I'm gonna listen to this song 10 million times and go crazy. It's not beautiful. I have a cookie. I have a cheese. Oh my gosh, why does it keep giving me that song? Oh my gosh. Should we try Lemon Melon Cookie? I love this song so much. Lemon Melon Cookie. Oh my gosh. Oh, did I get a personal best? I got a B. I got a B. Oh no, I want to find. No, I didn't. But I got a B. You win some, you lose some. Hi, Guy. Welcome in. How are you doing? Greetings, sir. Here's the cast possible. Indeed. You should check out our new commands, Guy. I think you would love them. OB has been working really hard. What's a new command? Any commands you say? Yeah. So if you... Oh, wait, well, I'll come up. Is roast on? Yeah, roast is on there. We got a roast now. And we got some more jokes. Which is fun. But yeah, we have... Yeah, we have How Cheesy by Black and How Cheesy Red. I see some gambling. Yeah, I thought you would like it. This could be quite silly. I love it, yeah. So essentially, if you write how cheesy am I, the amount of cheese you have is like your starting point. And you could either lose it or get more. If you're feeling crazy. Oh my gosh, why is it so big? Oh, thank you for the raids, NG60. Welcome in. Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day. Happy Saturday. How was your stream? What were you up to today? Hello, I'm Kailu Such. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you had fun at Zenji's stream. I appreciate you for stopping by. What are we up to? How's Osu going? Osu's going good, actually. Thank you. Wait, you playing Osu too? Oh, you're studying later? Oh, good luck with studying. What are you studying? Hope you're studying something exciting. But oh yeah, I'm Sam. I really like cheese. So if you like cheese, then feel free to stay here. Oh, you did some Apex for most of Osu. Oh, nice. I hope we had lots of fun. Oh, he's studying maths. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Crazy. Oh, thank you for the follow, Zanji and Kailu's. I'm sorry, I can't say your name. But I appreciate it. Hope you're having a great day. Someone new combats a new gamble to kick off the screen is always true. So if you'd be so kind of the wheel and roll the bay and locking it all in green. You see, I can't do it. I can't do it. I am banned. I'm banned from doing it. No one knows how to spell my name. No, I'm sorry. I'll be lucky and have a fun stream. Oh, no worries. You gotta do what you gotta do. I appreciate you for the rating and take care. Send you lots of cheesy love. So I apologize if I am sniffy. I am cold. I have got a cold. 568. Nice. Oh no, no. I failed. Great, unlike the situation, I picked red or black. You know, pick whatever you want to pick. I'm itching to gamble. I've been doing it for 148 years and I haven't got addicted yet. Oh yeah, as you do. This is where the gamble gets interesting. Wait, what? What does it say? It thinks Wi-Fi stands for why isn't Fi work? Oh my gosh. Very uncool. Why is that Malcolm? Oh, I don't know. I'm pretending it's not real. It can't hurt me. Oh, why the heck is this so crazy? That's kind of insane. Wait, cat, yeah, it's cat, meow meow. I'll say black today. But you went bust, haha, you lost all your cheese. You lost all your cheese. Now you can't gamble anymore, haha, lol. Lols. I wanted to search out the PP map, but accidentally forgot how to put Osu there. Put Osu there? What? Well, that's how Sunbot works now. That's how Sunbot works. You have to be respectful. Is there any more Sunbaka jokes? Joke Sunbaka. Wait, how to spell my name? How does Sunbaka greet her friends? Wait, is this the same one before with her Baka? Yeah, that's the same Sunbaka joke. It's the only Sunbaka joke in the world. There's only one joke of me, and that's it. Do diddle do. Oh my gosh, that was definitely me. Howdy, hi, not then. Welcome in. Hope you're having a good day. Oh, that was definitely me. I'm definitely getting tired because I've slowed down so much. What do you call a hedgehog that's good at sewing? A pin cushion specialist. What? Like what with the needles? Somewhat. You're certainly not gonna take that. Well, you have to take it. You gotta take it. That's how it is. Let's make some real money. You don't have to gamble. You could keep what you had. Yeah, that's the thing. You could just keep it. You could just keep what you have. That's not how the gamble works. You keep pushing it. Is if you don't gamble, you keep it. But it's like real life. It's literally real life. I'll be able to as soon as my wrists are healing. Let's go. Oh my gosh, yes. Go for it. Go for it. You got this. Heal those wrists. Honestly, my wrists are killing me right now too. You don't have to gamble, but you want to. See, that's the thing. You just want to spend recklessly. I lost multiple times. Same. I have too. See, wait, if I do mine too, I will send proof that I am not cheesy. I'm locked too. I'm like 170k innocent. I'm so addicted. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. we have an addict in the chat. That's kind of crazy. Congratulations. Honestly, I'm addicted to cheese, so I guess I can't say much. Thank you for throwing the cheese, Tenderloin. How are you doing? It's good to see you. Hope you're feeling cheesy today. Like that. That's cheese. Oh my gosh, that kind of looks like cheese. That's kind of good. It looks like a pizza, actually. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Around the level 100k, it's current 100k ranker. Nice. make bigger circles when you spin, maybe. Maybe. You can grab more cheese on it. Yeah, you can. But you have to be subscriber. Or mod or VIP. Either of those. Yeah, good evening, son. Hope you're having fun. Also, I am. Thank you, Gretch. Welcome in. How you doing? It's good to see you. How's your week been? I love this song. Party. Yeah, I just don't really play Ragnarok 5 ever 6-8 Star Syndrome. Nice. I work at Osu, so seeing the name of this game is funny to me. yeah, I'm just casually playing the game that you work at. Just casually, as you do. Alright, State University. You know, same thing, really. Oh my gosh, it's so small. Ouch. I don't know how you control the game so fast as like Jack will see when this hit. I can't even see it. No, the thing is, I can't either. But honestly, I'm just I can't. You know when it gets that certain time of day where you can't actually see. I've kind of got to that point that I'm not actually kind of seeing. I'm just kind of guessing. I can't see anymore. I don't need to see. Recently started to pick the aim control maps are fun, especially like 5 to 7 as well. Nice. I don't really know many of them. Me. Ugh. Yay! Oh, I got a B! Personal best! My tablet is at the top left hand area. I mean, who isn't a little bit sideways? Oh my gosh, this song is so nostalgic. Oh wait, can I do it now? Wait. 354. Wait. You chose red. I'm gonna choose. How cheesy am I? Black. No! Why did I lose instantly? That's not good. Has anyone won yet? No. I mean, the highest I got earlier was like 1,000 something. Yeah, you have to wait. You have to wait for a long time. You have to wait an hour. You'll be sleeping then. So will I. So will I. It's for an hour. If you want to send a song, feel free to send it in the requests on the channel Point Redeems. Ugh. Time to go to an alternate route. What's that? Like the link or just the name. If you have the OSU map, just send it through there because it's just a bit easier for me. Like that. Thank you. Weird things happen. Let me draw to cat. What? Oh, you draw as a cowboy. You're not happy about it? Why not? I'd be honored. Oh my gosh, this map on Taiko is so good. Like if anyone's played this map on Taiko, you would know it's like it's so hypey. Oh my gosh, I don't know how many of you guys play Taiko, but it's why is it? Can you pick a lower map, please? Please request a lower map. Thanks. Because otherwise I can't play that. Gosh. That looks at me too. But yeah, feel free to send another map that I can play. Refunded. Thank you, LB. But yeah, please read the description of it as well. Please pick one that I can play. Nothing too difficult. Make subdivisions. I did the tutorial at the start of today's stream because I didn't know what I could do. Wait. Is it? Wait. Has it been reset? Let me see. Let me look at one. Okay, thank you. But if you want to give me the Taiko one of that, I don't mind because I already have that map in Taiko. I mean, but I don't know how many of you guys played Taiko. But it's really hypey. I can't even FC that map on Taiko. It's kind of crazy. Because it's like quite intense. Like there's no breaks really. Taiko, yeah, Taiko. The other game mode. They got that song's on Taiko. It's really fun, but really crazy too. Ugh. You don't understand Taiko. What? It's so much fun. I recommend giving it a try. Because it's so good. It's so good. Like, you know, I think it's such a fun game mode once you get used to it. You need to get used to it. Like, once you start getting out of, like, the Futsu range, it's actually so much fun. I recommend playing the Muzakashi maps if you're out of that range, because they're just so much fun. They're just so much fun. Oh my gosh. I suck at Oni maps, but I love Muzakashi maps. I can just play them all day if I wasn't visually impaired. Done. Can't find one. I could request something. I mean, as long as it's like playable for me, like free star to like middle 4-star, I should be able to play it. Or like Tycho, any Tycho maps. Wait, like maybe like 4-star Tycho maps. If not, or like up to like 3-star catch maps, or like a 2-star mania map. So there's like lots of options. Oh my gosh. Whoa, I gotta be. What? On a 4.6 2? No way. Wait, is the redeems working? I think it's still open. Yeah, you can send it for the redeem. Oh my god, I'm so surprised I did that, not gonna lie. That's kind of crazy for me. Childhood flashback. What anime opening is this? I know this anime opening, but I can't think of the anime. Teletubbies! Apo. Oh my gosh, are we really doing Teletubbies? Why is it 3? Is it 3 minutes? I didn't know the Teletubbies song was 3 minutes long. That's kind of crazy.
3, 2, 1, start.
That's kind of crazy. Ew, what is that sound? Why are they farting in my ears? Oh, I don't like this. Oh, why are they farting? Oh, I don't like this. I feel really creeped out. It's like ASMR, but it's the worst form. It's like... So, yeah, so free bags full. Why do they look so creepy, right? They're like staring into my soul. It's like they know what you've done. Rolena Row. Oh, you love it so hard. I'm about to have nightmares. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is not what I wanted. This is, you know where this is going? This is going straight into the bin. I cannot. That is... Why were they spitting in my ear? I don't like that. I'm honestly, I'm going to go to bed soon, and I'm gonna go to bed soon, and then I'm gonna lie into bed, and then all I'm gonna hear is like the Teletubbies farting in my ear, like, and I'm gonna blame you. No, you didn't. Oh yeah, I did. Teletubbies Hulk tour. What does the Hulk tour mean? I see it a lot, but I actually don't know what it means. Can I request it again? Well, I will cry. I will cry if you do that. We go to the bed cheeseless and hunted by the Dutch village. You know what? Maybe next time you won't. You know, good night, guys. Sleep well. Don't let the bed bugs bite, or else they'll tickle you. I don't know. Tubby custard. Ew! I hate custard. That sounds nasty. Is a joke about... Oh! Is it actually? Ew! I wish I didn't know that now. Ew. There won't be a next time. I'll be eliminated. Okay. You know what? We'll hold a funeral for you, okay? You'll be remembered. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Alex, for contributing to the Get Over Stream Challenge. We are currently 93% of the way there. It's not crazy. And thank you guys for also contributing. I appreciate it. Lots. It's fire. I'm scared. Oh my gosh, I'm like so tired. Oh, wrong one. F8. Is this for Family Guy? I think this is the one for Oh, it's his Family Guy. Oh my gosh, I just can't read. That's funny.
Hi there. How you doing?
Oh wait. That's silly. Spend your last chi points well before a house is raided and Netherlands special football. Maybe you'll be spared, you know.
Hi there. How you doing?
Oh my gosh, that was so difficult. What the heck? That was really difficult, but kind of funny. Thank you. I will keep this one for future reference. Some words cannot describe how so much chance for that is. Well, you never know. Never know. Stranger things have happened. You have a better chance to win the lottery than receive money. You know, probably, to be honest, actually. Probably. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss. Oh my gosh. Oh no, I'm so tired. I'm literally losing the will right now. Oh wait, what time is it? Oh, actually, you know what? I might finish up doing one more. Because I'm losing. It's nearly 1 a.m. It's nearly 1 a.m. So we're gonna have a chill minute. It's late. Somebody's lame sham snitch into it. Snitch. Do it. And I'm gonna head off. It's 2 a.m. final start. Oh my gosh, yeah. You better go to sleep. Good luck with your exams. Hopefully they go well. Send you lots of cheese and love in the night. Okay, I'm gonna do one more map myself because I'm really tired. I'm really tired. Oh my gosh, no, what is that? Goodbye. Ignore skin. Ignore skin. Snitch support. Wow. The military. Maybe I'll convince them to not neutralize it. I read that as euthanize. Maybe not. Maybe wait. I don't know. The same thing, I guess. Oh, hello, community fan. How you doing? How's the channel feeling? It's feeling good. It's feeling good. I'm just really tired because it's like nearly 1 a.m. But I actually got some really good plays earlier. It was really cool. My dad got me a Gaimon tablet. Gaomon? Gamon. That's the spelling. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. And it's really nice, actually. I quite like it. Okay, I'm gonna finish up here because I am so tired. I'm so tired, honestly. I'm so knackered. But, you know, okay, that's really bad. But I passed like for a 4.6 earlier, which was really cool. And I also managed to like beat a lot of my personal bests before I started getting like really tired, and then I was like, I am so tired, I have no energy left. But it was really fun, and a good experience too. Well, it's nice knowing you all. Nice knowing you too, guy. Hopefully you're cheesier next time. Oh, okay, there we go. Like, yeah, I believe you'll be cheesier next time. Or like, it's like Osu, when you close down the game, it's like, see you next time, but this time it's like, hopefully you're cheesier next time. I don't even know if that makes sense. Yeah, good night's rest. I will. I need that rest, to be honest. I am so knackered. I'm so knackered. It's my first stream back in like a week. So it's like getting into the swings of things, really. I see multiple green light dots on my chest. Been fun. Green lights? Well, that's good. Green is positive. Green is good. So I think that's a win. We missed you so. Oh, thanks, Alex. We missed you too. I missed you too. It's always good to see you guys again. And I do have a few days off this week. So I can hang around you guys some more. And I can practice playing Support Osu on the tablet. So I wonder how much I can improve in like a period of time. So I'm quite excited. I'm quite excited because I feel like I'm already like kind of better. Maybe it's just the buff, but I'm feeling relatively positive, to be honest, which is always a plus. Green lights and dots. Oh no. Oh no. Green is better visible in the human isometry. The more you know. The more you know. Well, hopefully nobody actually uses that, but you know, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Next time you'll be cheesy. I promise. I promise. And that's a some promise, and some promises never lie. Probably. Follow raid. Oh my gosh, I can't spell. How does one follower? Follow raid. Oh, I guess snooze ads because I'm about to raid. Follow raid, sub raid, and I see multiple. Wait, what was it? You're cooked. You're cooked. Oh no, you're not cooked. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Okay. We're gonna wait. Egg. He's also playing Osu right now, but he's a mouse player. He's like literally an only mouse player, which is really, really cool. Also, I think he's doing a partner push. He's really close to partner, so be sure to give him lots of cheesy love and support, and be like, yeah, good luck with your partner journey. So I'll be really cool. I'll be really cool. But yeah, you're not cheesy enough yet. Not yet, Alex. Maybe soon. And hopefully I'll be cheesy enough soon too. You know, I'm gonna go sleep. And I hope you guys sleep too, but if it's morning for you, probably don't sleep. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. Yeah. Sending you lots of cheesy loves. If I don't see you around in the week, I hope you have a great week ahead. Send you all the love. For you on Tuesday, I'll be invited. Oh, you know what? I actually have a day off on Tuesday, so I will be down. I will attend your funeral. I'm so excited. Okay. Have a good sleep. So, you too. I would change that to show time in May. Yeah, I do think that's a good idea. I'll be there. Thank you. You know, it's still a work in progress, which is awesome. Anyway, okay, I'm actually gonna go now for real. Okay, see you later, guys. See ya. Bye. Catch a flight or don't.